Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. In today's video, we look at the season 4 episode where Lucy doesn't want to go into the light, but I have a feeling she really wanted to all along. Today's episode is titled Sandhassles. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. The episode begins with Cheryl announcing a field trip to the beach for Lucy's 3rd grade class. Not wanting to partake in such a normie activity, Lucy and the Morticians Club try suggesting new places to go, and then try to stop the trip from happening completely, but all their efforts prove useless. While her friends take shelter from the sun, Lucy, with the help of her bat fangs, slowly but surely starts embracing the fun on the beach, and is eventually found out by her fellow goths. Lucy tells her friends that just because you're goth, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy the beach. The rest of the Morticians Club decide to give the beach a chance, and they begin to realize normie things can be fun. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. One of the biggest things that stood out to me was how Lucy delivered her lines on the beach, and I also paid particular attention to her body language. I started floating an idea that I always had since the first season, and this episode pretty much reaffirms the underlying part of Lucy's character the audience knows, but not many other people around her know. I'll start off by saying this was one of Lucy's best episodes, and her time on the beach helped in developing her character beyond Miss Doom and Gloom. She says over and over she can't stand the beach, including the hot sun. However, there have been several episodes in the past where she puts on a swimsuit and embraces what's happening, but have you ever noticed you only see her and the rest of her family, never any of her friends? As far as we've known, she's never seen objecting to going to the local pool or the beach in episodes like Link or Swim and No Such Luck. When you mix all of that together and throw in the episode Sleuth or Consequences, where we find out Lucy has a secret love for pony books, it once again shows how Lucy's usual dark and dreary persona is sometimes a convenient cover used to keep a good reputation among her friends, who I'm guessing would be shocked beyond belief if they ever found out she reads Princess Pony. To put it another way, I think Lucy wouldn't have minded going to the beach if it was just her. She probably thought her fellow club members were super goth to the core, and she only agreed to be against the field trip as her way of convincing them she was not a normie, but secretly, in a way, she was. Think about it. She was playing volleyball, building giant sandcastles, and riding the waves like it was something she does all the time. If she was truly against the idea of having fun on the beach, there's no way she could have expertly done all of that. In fact, I would say she would have been out there the entire time if none of her club friends were there. You may disagree with that, but those past episodes I mentioned do hold a bit of truth to what I said. On top of that, you could tell by the way she was acting that she really wanted to have fun that day, and even the way she confronts her friends after they catch her surfing was kinda noteworthy. I don't know if it's just me who thinks this, but it almost sounded like she knew it wasn't just on this day she realized how fun the beach was. I think she already knew that beforehand and was simply trying to convince her friends that she saw the light, so to speak, and that everyone else should be open to the experience too, which brings me to the Morticians Club. Although I was left a little baffled when it was practically confirmed that such tall kids like Boris and Persephone are surprisingly only 8 years old, I will say this episode, in hindsight, opened the door to what they eventually started doing in the episode She's All Bat, where they actually liked the idea of getting makeovers, something they would think only a normie would do. If anything, I give credit to Lucy in this episode for giving her friends the chance to expand who they are beyond what is usually seen on the surface. I know it's not a lot, but when you look at how happy they were when they started enjoying themselves on the beach, it does offer a little bit of development. When you have someone like Haiku wondering if stickers and going to the mall can be fun too, you have to admit Lucy can be a good influencer. I mean, come on, nobody can rock dolphin print the way she can. Although I do have to question how she was able to conveniently borrow a swimsuit from Cheryl. Why would she be carrying that thing around with her? You know what? I'm just going to leave it at that. Overall, this episode is great when it comes to reminding us how Lucy is more multidimensional than we know, and this and the past examples of her normie side prove it. Even if we don't see her and the rest of her friends doing this kind of thing more often, it doesn't mean they're fake goths or total normies for doing such things. These are just some of their guilty pleasures, if you want to call it that, and there's nothing wrong with dabbling in new kinds of territory. As long as you're comfortable with who you are, what you do, and with whom you do these things, there's no need to be afraid of expressing yourself. That's the lesson Lucy already knew and was glad to bring her friends out of the darkness and into the sun. With that said, I give Sandhassles a 9.6 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Sandhassles. Just remember that if you ever meet a fan who doesn't like Lucy because of her 24/7 darkness, just show them this episode and the other ones I mentioned earlier, and they'll come to realize the spooky little loud child is not quite as one-dimensional as they once assumed. So what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.